It's Radio Skid Row 88.9 and you're listening to Good Smoke. Remember that number, 9550-9552. Also radioskidrow.org and goodsmoke.com.au. Breno, what's going on?
Man, it's been an awesome week. I can't even explain it. I rid off my car last week.
Oh, that's a shame.
I'm going to try to explain it, but I rid off my car last week. And so shouts out to all you public transport people because I've been doing it for a week and I haven't done it since I was 28. That's like 5 years ago, and frustrating as it's so cold out there. Like it felt like I was homeless on public transport at one point because of how cold, and I wasn't prepared, bro. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, I know.
Unfortunately,
and now you're back on public transport. How does that feel?
Thanks, Eddie. Thanks. Yeah, highlighting
I'm on
that
it too, man. I'm on it too.
Yeah, no, don't worry. But
I like the adventures.
Got the insurance call today, so hopefully things are gonna work out.
Yeah.
But man, I've been having a great week because I knew this week we were going to have a special guest on the show. And
very special guest.
I've thought about a few ways to kind of prop him up, but I feel weird just in case I make him sound so great. It's like with comedians do with Jerry Seinfeld, the greatest comedian on the planet, and now he's got so much to live up to, that it's harder to have a good set. Yeah. So I'm not going to do that too much with our guest today, but I will say that he's
yeah.
Oh, I just did. I fucked it up. I made it worse now. I made it worse. He's better than Jerry Seinfeld, ladies and gentlemen. We got Jerry Seinfeld's mentor here in the building. No, I got a good friend of mine who I've known for as long as I start like solidifying friendships that are like actually what a friend is as opposed to that kid you were playing with. And fortunately enough, it started that I met majority of my friends that I grew up with due to the fact that he actually invited me just to come play. It was a water bomb fight. I was coming after school. It was summer, bro. I was in my school uniform from Marston College. Shouts out to Marston. Big ass bag. It was ridiculous.
Touching your back of your knees, eh?
Yeah, and you feel like less of a there's all these cool kids. Everyone that doesn't have this bag looks cooler than you when you're walking on the street in that private uniform. It's the worst.
Then you had those ones that were really tied up, the bags that...
I couldn't do those ones. Not with it, bro. I'm wearing a suit. I'm wearing a suit and a tie. How am I going to wear that little bag?
In the summertime.
Anyway, so I'm walking down this park and we just moved into the area. It was Eastlake. Shouts out to Eastlake. ELB 2018. Yeah, you're the boys. But I just moved in there and I'm walking through the park, Eastlake's park. That's got a lot of history now, but back then it didn't have any. And I'm looking, and there's these group of kids, bro, boys and girls, which for me, like boys and girls weren't playing together anymore. We had gone past that stage where we're not friends. Like girls have cooties, or I actually like them now, so girls stay together, boys stay together. But they were having the fattest water bomb fight of my life, and I'm there sweating balls, bro. Like it was ridiculous. The heat I'm feeling, looking at these guys like they were in paradise. It was like full oasis, right? And out of nowhere, I lock eyes with this dude that he must have seen the pain, bro. He must have looked at this kid in private school uniform and go like, that kid's clearly got no friends. Like he needs a helping hand. He might have remembered me from other past soccer games that I had played in the last year around there. But I don't think it was that. He just saw a kid in pain and he goes, hey, do you want to play water bomb fights? And I look at this kid and I remember in my head, like my heart jumped out of my chest. But I'm like, yeah. And I just did I even run home and get changed? Or I don't know. I just started playing. But since that day, so he's drastically changed the history of my friendships and relationships I've had. But little did I know later on, there was actually quite a few friends that only hung around because this motherfucker just invited someone, like radically was able to open up his circle of friends to include others, On that rap, I wasn't going to give a big one, but he's an outdoorsman, he's an entrepreneur, he's definitely an overcomer, like he's a beachy guy, he's a fisherman. But what I like about Kaan, above all things, I feel like he really I've already just mentioned who he is, but I'll mention it at the end again. But one of the things that I feel like really sum him up really well is that, that quote that says, you miss every shot you don't take? Well, Kaan's been taking shots ever since I've known him. You know what I mean? Miss or no miss, he's still just taking shots. And so, ladies and gentlemen, with no further ado, I'd like to introduce our special guest for the day. It's Kaan Paydas. Oh, you got a little clap. Hey,
this is the first time using this, eh? Hey. I used it last week in the middle of the show, but I'm trying to get on top of it.
He's a CEO and founder of Highline Cranes, which is a new business of his. But without further ado, Carnage, how you doing?
I'm doing very well, boys. Thank you.
How are you, Kaan?
I hope that wasn't too much of big rap, bro. Big entrance. You think he was the Sultan of Brunei or something? You know what I mean?
Yeah. You made me feel very good about myself.
That's mad. Well, Kaan, I've been really excited about this because even before this show started, me and you would talk about it, and like you'd always encourage me. Kaan was a big encourager to not only in regards to how he lives life in taking those shots, he'd encourage his friends to take shots. I remember there's a few moments even in relationships where Kaan's gone to me, bro, you don't know if you don't go for it, you know what I mean? And it's like simple little wise little proverbs you can mention, but that he would just really encourage you with. And when I was starting this show, he was just really encouraging, that he seemed as excited for me as I was about it. Not necessarily he was excited about it, but he was just excited for me that I was so excited about something.
I was excited for you, Brennan, because you found something you're passionate about and you're having a crack.
Nice. Shouts out to everyone. Hey, I'm blushing, Kaan. I'm blushing. This is going on the internet.
I'm all about that. You know I'm all about that.
Yeah,
it's all about having a crack.
Yeah, for sure, man. And
just hearing that straight away when I hear that, especially knowing where we're from and the areas that we grew up in, to hear one of the boys back you up and literally tell you, yeah, go for it, man. Instead of it being something bad to go for, you're saying something good to go for. So it's encouraging to hear, man.
And it wasn't like, so a lot of people say nature, nurture. Shouts out to his parents, because the nurture outside of the family home wasn't really we were good friends, but people weren't always as encouraging to one another. The dynamics of endearment were, how do you pay out your mate as hard as you can, and still be good friendships. But so if you were out on a venture or trying something, there wasn't always that support growing up. Especially right. I see it in young boys now, where if they're going to do a live show or something, a lot of their friends don't rock up.
What about even if one of the boys just try to do something different, like get a job and start saving his money, and he's not hanging out with
even
the boys
if they
enough?
Want to dress different.
Yeah, or you got a new girlfriend, you don't hang out with the boys enough. Like when you start to try to change your life and
you become too cool for the boys all of a sudden.
Yeah. Or the boys think oh, you're a dog, you're not supposed to, you're supposed to hang out for life. But I think people grow, man. Like with everything from nature to like anything that we do is growth. It's all about growth, man.
What you're saying is spot on. But just to give you an example of how I felt like Kaan differed in a way where a lot of, like me growing up, just this how different we are in regards to a stronger personality that's rubbed off. And I'm glad I've learned so much from Kaan. But I remember as a young kid, do you remember the homies and waxies? Homies didn't hang around waxies, and waxies didn't hang around homies. In our groups of circles,
they didn't cross paths. They didn't cross paths,
bro. You couldn't necessarily wear surfy clothes or waxy clothes or be a surfy or a skatey. We have friends that
I was smack bang in between them.
Kaan would never, but some people struggle to navigate between both worlds. Kaan would moonwalk between them, bro. He just moonwalk between two worlds that wouldn't have a bar of each other, you know. And so growing up, he was just this kid during winter where everyone's kind of getting pastier because they didn't get that much sun in summer or whatever. Kaan's brown 24/7 because he's the beach guy, you know what I mean? Where everyone was scared to pull out a surfboard. Kaan's been surfing and fishing as long as everyone can know, and no one gave him shit for it.
Well, anyway, due to that, let's say welcome, Kaan.
Welcome, Kaan.
So let's get into it, man. Where you brought up and where you from, man?
Okay, so we are. When I say we, me and Breno, we grew up in Eastlake, near Mascot, and it's a low-income area, and, I reckon pretty much everybody didn't realise it back then because we were only kids, but now that we've grown up and you look back at it in hindsight, we're definitely underprivileged.
Yeah, and probably, not necessarily poor financially or what we had, because I felt like we had everything we wanted.
I didn't feel poor at any point.
But there wasn't that sense. But at the same time, we didn't realize there's actually another side of this train track that has a bit of glitz and glamour, Like when we were really, really young, I feel like we learnt that a bit early though. Mm-hmm. That glitz and glam exists outside of our circumstances and outside
we started learning it when we hit the teenage years and people started buying cars and buying flash stuff.
Going to different areas and
stuff. Going to different areas when you start traversing a bit.
Yeah. So then, so you were born in Eastlake, were you?
Yeah, I grew up in Eastlake till I was 14, and then when we were 14, family moved to Coogee, and then we grew up in Coogee.
Okay, yeah. And what school did you go to?
Went to primary school was Eastlake Boys, and high school we went to Randwick Boys.
Randwick Boys, shouts out to Randwick Boys.
Shout out to Randwick Boys.
Man, a lot of... Hey, do you ever look back at those times and go, man, there is so many stories I don't even think I can tell. Like, you'll probably forget a lot of them.
100%. 100%. A lot of goods and bads, you know, like a lot of violence.
A lot of violence.
A lot of violence, you know. At one stage, there was punch-ups every single week on the school oval, and on the other side too, bloody hell, we had some laughs.
What was the name? You used to have a park right next to your school that had a best name.
It was called Payne Reserve.
Oh, but that was the legit name,
That's legitimately what the actual place is called. Paine, Payne Reserve.
Think about like the spot to meet. If you're gonna go punch on with someone, Payne Reserve, bro.
And groups from different schools would literally organise that we meet up at Payne Reserve. And everyone was have balls.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I remember those. And that's right. Right next to the school, was it?
Yeah, just behind Rainbow Street.
Yeah, that's right. School. I remember there was a real big one there with it was like Wogs versus Asians or something. And
no, were you there? Did you hear about it?
Of course, because it was like all my Brady and Maddie and all that. Like they went to verse another crew.
There was always fights there, man. To be honest, like fights will probably cross over. Do you have a favorite? Not fight, but a favorite moment during that high school time in Randwick Boys that actually sticks out, where it's like, man, I remember that day. That day was nuts, or whatever.
I remember one of like a big day that does stand out was when I was in year 10, and there was a kid in our year. He's a bully, right? He's a bully. He always picks on everyone. I don't pick on anyone, but at the same time, I don't let no one pick on me.
Yeah.
And anyways, this bloke, at lunchtime, he's run past me and he's thrown a half-eaten sandwich at me. I've gone, nah. Anyways, I tried to catch him and cave his head in pretty much.
Yeah.
But we ended up having a deal we had after school, and by the time I got out to the oval, everybody was already out there.
Just waiting for
the
it.
girls' school, the seniors, everybody, they'd already made a big circle. No, there was no Facebook back then either. There's nothing. It's just the word. Word of mouth was just instant.
Just like
bro, you didn't have people rocking up from other schools.
How did different schools? No, because everyone had that one phone, but like that 3210. They'll send one message and then one guy would tell everyone, you know?
Optus was cranking back then.
There was no social and if you change the last digit on that number, you get free text.
The message, that's right.
100%. We were growing up in that time. That was awesome.
Message sender
number. Such a
good time. That's the one.
Always used to change that last digit and get unlimited. And 9 to 9 was it? Free calls every 20 minutes. You have to hang up.
Optus time. What was it called? Optus out? No, what was it?
Free time.
Free time. That's it. Far Optus hour. What am I tripping out?
Old now, eh?
Far out. Yeah, 100%.
I don't think they got that stuff now. It's all iPhones and stuff. You can't order it.
It wouldn't. That was just to make more money off us back then. But we rorted the system, and I'm proud of it. Do you know how many times? Hey, do you know how many? Like, back in the day when you had that phone, when you had a mobile phone, the whole situation was when you do that, you'd spend the evening just hitting up different girls that night, you know, like all your girlfriends. At least that was what I always used to do. Don't worry about that. Hey, we'll change the subject real quick, eh?
I was the same, man.
Hey, everyone used to do it.
But if you're wondering why we brought Kaan in, Kaan owns a crane business, and he removes like unwanted trees and all that sort of stuff.
Tree work, construction work, all sorts of stuff.
If you like the other day, if you follow his social media, he picked up a boat. That looked pretty cool. You were taking a boat out of something, wasn't you?
Yeah, had a client who purchased a project sailboat, and we needed to lift it off the truck and put it onto a cradle. A cradle is just basically a steel construction with wheels on it that they can keep it on for a while they work on it. And that was something I did the other day. But you know, I've lifted up a little aeroplane as well one time.
Wow!
Just a light aircraft.
Yeah. And you enjoying this? You enjoy?
Yeah, I love what I do. And you know, I think that's probably a subject that we can touch on as we go in this.
The reason I bring it up, because you haven't always been in this position of having your own business and running things for yourself. And
of course not.
And why we actually brought you here today is to just have a conversation like where you've come from to get to this point, because there's been very dark times for you too.
There has.
And I feel like a lot of people from the area that you're from, and even where I'm from, and other areas too, but especially where we're from, maybe your story can encourage someone, you know. And we just want to like go through those times where you've been through.
Yeah.
So where did it all start for you? Like where did how do we say like
where did shit start hitting the fan?
Yeah. Like was it the area? Like let's start from there.
Yeah. Look, I think just growing up, the way we've grown up, you know, we've had to work for everything we've got. You know, mum and dad did what they can for you, but at the end of the day, we've had to work for everything. few years ago now, I hit my rock bottom, and in, during this rock bottom, I lost my wife and lost my money and went away for a little while. And when you sort of go through that, there's only two ways in life. You either let it hold you down, or you go, you know what, stuff this. I'm not going to let this be what judges me and depicts my life. You sort of got to stand against it and go, I'm going to do something now, and that's it. So that was a real defining moment in my life when I hit that rock bottom. It really just cleared things up and, made me realise what I want to do and where I want to be and who I want to be. And from that point is when I started really working hard and moving forward with my life. But probably the biggest thing I could say to somebody is find something you love, find something you enjoy. You got to start with that.
Yeah, because I was just wondering, even growing up before your marriage and that, was there any domino effect to get to that point? Was there anything happening? Were you hanging out with the wrong
100%.
people?
Yeah, 100%. So leading up to your rock bottom, I was just probably going out too much, having too much fun, and then having too much fun was taking me off the path of success.
So would you say you had a path? And
I think I've always had faith in myself to, do well in my life, but doing all the partying and not having any real set goals in my life, and then coming to 25 and realizing, shit, I'm nowhere near where I want to be. When I was 19, I thought I'd be here at 25. I'm nowhere near that. And then all of a sudden anxiety kicks in, depression kicks in, self-doubt kicks in. It's like, who am I? What am I doing? You start questioning yourself a lot. And, during times of depression and anxiety and just general weakness, the circumstances around you can really affect you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like if you've got people selling drugs around you, making money and doing stuff, or
criminal activity.
Any criminal activity you can think of, if it's going on around you and you're not in a strong mental position, you're going to get swayed with it.
And it doesn't even need to be something major. So you're saying I picture someone working in an environment like at a McDonald's, they're stressed out about life's financial issues, whatever, find out one of their workers takes from the till, it makes it a lot easier to start taking from the till. You know
100%.
What I mean? Yeah, I
100%.
I noticed that with one of my friends, I'm not going to name anyone, but he did it at
just the first name.
Yeah.
Just the first name. just give it the last name. Initials.
2. He did it at one job, and then he realized the gravity of it, what he did, and he got in trouble, whatever. But then when the quiet times happened, he got his new job, and then he eventually got into it 6 to a year into it, and he started doing the same thing from his last job. So he never learned, and just the cycle. And he's done that 3 to 4 times now. I was like, and I've warned him. I said, bro, don't stuff this up. We're getting older. You don't have these opportunities as much as you when you were younger. People don't hire you as easier when you're older, And then he did it again. So I feel like I was the voice in his life in that time because we're older now.
Were you able to help him?
Yeah, he did it again.
He did it again?
Yeah, and I haven't seen him since. I think he moved away from
that. So there's a prime example of you can only help someone much.
Yeah.
So I think it's also important in life to, if you see someone you care about and you're trying to help them, help them. But don't help them to the point where it's starting to hurt you.
Yeah.
When now you're going to need help.
Because sometimes that happens. We really care for someone. That's and we keep dragging ourselves down to try and help them. But you can only ever help someone so much.
Yeah.
When you've done enough, if they can't help themselves, you've got to let them go.
Yeah, it's just sad because he's a really smart dude, man. The guy is not a dummy. The reason he could do that because he was smart enough to dodge everyone. You know what I mean? It's just that he's using it for the wrong position.
As smart as he was, it was done.
Yeah. He was doing it for the wrong reasons. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The smartest dumb guy in the room is still the dumb guy.
Anyway, guys, it's Radio Skid Row 88.9. We're going to come back. I'll play a few songs and we're going to get into it even deeper.
If you want to, feel free to give us a call. Maybe you want to have a chat with Kaan, chat with me or Eddie. That number is 9550-9552. And remember, if you're not being able to hear it completely too well on normal radio on the dial, 88.9, because we understand we're trying to improve our reception range, but you can get it online on radioskidrow.org. Just press the little media player toggle there and it should be live. Otherwise, you can go and tune in through the app or tunein.com or whatever, and the internet radio, you should be able to find it there, radioskidrow.org or 2RSR 88.9 FM.
And if you don't want to call up, go to our Facebook and drop us a message. Even if you have a song.
Do our heads in, man. Straight out.
If you have a song request or if you want to even talk to Kaan personally, even if you want to use his services, give us a call up.
Even if you want to rip into us, because that comment is going to hit an algorithm that's going to improve our standings. So just rip into us, bro. Whatever. No, I'm just joking.
This is Radio Skid Row. You're listening to Good Smoke. This one here is called Ty Dollar Sign and it's called Purple Emojis. Hope you like it. Radio Skid Row. Good Smoke. It's Radio Skid Row 88.9 and you're listening to Good Smoke. Remember that number 9550-9552. radioskidrow.org, goodsmoke.com.au, and check us out on radioskidrow.org. There's a little player there that you can listen online if you don't have a radio in Australia or if you're overseas.
Is it right if I call it a toggle?
I don't know.
I say toggle
I don't know what
all the time. I don't know what it is either, bro.
If people know what toggles are.
I don't know what it is, so I don't assume they do.
Just
so
say like a player, like a
just
radio
a media player.
A media player.
No toggle. Ooh, we're getting phone calls.
We got a phone. I'll answer that in a second. So we're back. And this is the Good Smoke, and we've been talking to Kaan Paydas, and we've been talking about us growing up, what's it been like, and the dark times we've been through, and how we get through those times, So, remember that number 9550-9552 if you want to have a chat. So, Kaan, how are you, man? Thanks for coming in. I hope you're enjoying it.
Oh, it's definitely an experience.
Yeah, we were talking about it before. Kaan's radio voice puts mine in edge to show, so that's annoying, but it's good having you here, bro. And I want to get back into a little bit when you're in those teenage years and before things popped off and like started heading a direction where it didn't look like where you wanted to head back in the day. Nature and nurture has to do with so many people's upbringing. So like sometimes people say you have an alcoholic father, you become an alcoholic, or you have an alcoholic father and you hate alcohol. Like how was your home life? How was your, like, you have brothers, sisters?
That's a really good point to bring up, actually. So from my experience and what I think is true is no matter how good parents you have and no matter how good your family upbringing is, I think ultimately the people you hang around outside of home, you spend way more time with, and I think influence your life more. I think your parents will keep the morals in you. Yeah. They'll keep that good heart about you. Yeah. But ultimately, it's the boys that you're always hanging with and the things you're always seeing that I think will ultimately influence how you go in your life at those young years. I come from a very good family. Very good. I can't speak highly enough of my mum and dad. Yeah, I can't either. No, like the cleanest human beings you'll ever meet, my parents are. Yeah. But, as growing up as kids, you know what it was like. We'd be going out partying all the time and doing things that we shouldn't have done. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I like Kaan's house. Growing up as a kid was really awesome. I remember rocking up there, and his grandma would be around, like the sweetest little old lady. I miss your grandma. Yeah, God bless her. She's passed away. Yeah, God bless her. Like the thing is, there's certain people that you meet in life where they come and go. And even though if they were there for a long time, where your Nan, I remember her, and I actually remember her energy, because she was always like the sweetest little smile, the sweetest, like she'd take care, she'd make you feel comfortable in like surroundings where it's not mine, you know what I mean? And she'd make you feel really comfortable. But another thing is your parents, man. I got to admit, I asked that question, obviously knowing your household and knowing that if people knew your parents, they might think, hey, well, how did you go wrong? Like your parents seem like they would have raised Prince Charming that could be the first Turkish descendant Prime Minister of Australia, so it's really, really exactly what you say, like that time outside of the house does a lot of nurturing and undoing of what the parents try to do when you're in the house, Yeah, I think the influence that your peers have on you when you're young is really powerful. Yeah, now that we're all adults and we've grown up, and you look back at it in hindsight, I see it now. And you have an older brother, right? Older brother. Yeah, I have to ask these questions like I don't know. Shouts out to Mr. Dante in the house, good friend of ours. Dante Abe, he'll like me saying Dante Abe. So yeah, he will. If he's listening. But yeah, so how's your relationship with your brother growing up? Growing up, I hated his guts sometimes. Are you a middle child? Who didn't hate Dante? No, I'm joking. He's the older brother. I'm the younger brother. Okay. No, don't get me wrong. Love him to death. Yeah. bloody hell, he used to pick on me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always the way. I'm an older brother too, and I used to pick on my brothers too.
Yeah, I don't know what it is with older brothers, and I'm the sort of kid too that I wouldn't know when to like back down, so I'd end up just getting flogged.
Yeah, no, we're the same. Yeah. But I think like even now, with my brothers, the conversations are real. They're straightforward, no bluffing around when we talk. So
now it's totally different.
Yeah, now it's like more, we're adults now,
You're adults now.
Yeah, that's right.
There's no
right.
age gap now.
Yeah. But how old's your brother? Is he much older than you?
4 years. He's got 4 years on me. Yeah.
My brother's, I'm 2 years older than my brother, so
yeah. So when I was 6, he was 10. So you can imagine the strength difference.
Yeah.
When I was 10, he was 14. So
you just get to us
and
until you get to the
when
same.
I was 14, he was 18. So he literally had it over me until I was about at least 18, 19.
Do you remember back in the day the club Rogues? Is it
Rogues?
Yeah, Rogues.
Yeah.
That I know. I think I only went to it once. I wasn't that dude to go out.
Man, we wish we only went to it once. That's how much we went.
I think I went to it once.
I think you went there a lot more than me. I went there a few times, but I was more of a DC's man.
Yeah, no, I started going to DC's afterwards, but it's because I growing up in the area, I was the only one without an older brother around. And so I could get away with, I remember at 17, I went clubbing with the older boys, shouts out to Burks and all that, and it wasn't a good thing. It was a great thing, but they didn't learn a lot of the wrong things during those nights, but so during those times, all those gnarly boys would go, like the rougher boys would go to that place. But when we started getting a bit older, it started going to DCs where we started having too much fun with pharmaceuticals.
All the doof music.
All the doof music.
Why I asked, because I was always like fascinated, like the stories that would come out of these clubs that people would tell us after. There was some of my mates that were underage and they got in and they'll tell me, I go, how the hell did you get in? And my mum was very strict on me, like can't go out certain time, and if you did, you got to know the parents and all that sort of stuff. But I still did hang out with the bad guys somehow. Eventually, when I grew up, but what was that time like? Like everyone from school going to the same club together, and you're around. It
was so much fun.
Yeah, what was it like?
It was unreal. The other thing is too with this place. There's nothing else like it these days. Like back then, you'd go there and you'd have all the different areas in this one nightclub.
Yeah.
And
start at 9 p.m.
But everybody would just get along.
Yeah.
Everybody just got along. No one, you'd barely ever see a fight there.
Really?
Yeah, honestly.
It was
very rare,
and
and the differences in people within the club are huge, but yet everybody just got along really well.
So different facets of people, but
I'm talking, you got the Bra boys, you got the...
No way.
There was all rough.
You got the Eastlake boys, and then you got some bikies in there and whatever, and there's
nothing ever used to pop off. It would be like
the ingredients are there.
Yeah, the ingredients are all there. You'd have a better chance bumping into a big dude and having a sorry, like an apology battle for 15 seconds. Sorry, bro. No, you're good, but no, sorry, cuz I just bumped into. And they end up buying a drink at the bar. Like that, you'd have a better chance of that than getting into a blue there.
Yeah.
I think I
just caught the end of that stuff, man, because then it started. Because I did security as well, and man, it was just like...
It started dying out.
World War III, just to get into a club, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what the hell, bro? I'll make more money than you. Just let me in. I was like, come on, man. Like, just I feel like the dynamics of clubbing have really changed,
Do you find, just curious, because Sydney being a big place, there's groups of young teens and growing up in all sorts of suburbs to call it home, and also not necessarily big gangs or groups, but... Like they're known from those areas, like the people are known they're from Marubra, or people are known they're from Maddo or from Bondi. Did you find that where you grew up was like, I don't know, was it very different to the rest of the people? Like when you go out to the city, did you feel like you'd meet a lot of people like yourselves, or were you different than a lot of the society at the time?
Different.
Feel it in like...
Yeah, felt different in society, 100%.
Yeah. Can we just get that mic close to it?
Yeah. So but what do you think it was?
Well, just in hindsight, looking back now, like I said, we grew up in a minimum income sort of neighborhood, but we grew up really close as friends, all of us. Mm-hmm. We all became brothers and sisters from a young age
really
with each other.
Early on.
Yeah. And as we got older and obviously started going out, I'd meet people, for example, in a bar, and you'd start chatting to them and they'll just be like, oh, so how long have you two known each other? Like me and Breno will be sitting there next to each other. We'll be like, oh, mate, as long as we can remember.
Yeah.
We've been friends for, at that time, I would have been friends for 15 years with Breno.
Yeah.
Now it's double that.
Yeah.
But at the time of that conversation I'm having with this random person in the club, that's what I'm saying to them. And everybody would be blown away that I'm still mates with someone that I grew up with, because nobody else seemed to be.
Yeah.
Everybody else grew up in an area and they've split apart from these people they've got. And the people that they're hanging with on that current night, they've only known one of them at the most for 5 years, but most of them within 2-3 years. So, and I found that was pretty common. Like, I found it was common.
Yeah.
It was common that
hella common.
Yeah, you meet these people that are out and they've only been friends for a couple of years.
And it would be like, so for instance, you'd find a group that is connected. Oh, like, we've been friends for a while, and there'll be a group of 4 of them or 3. There won't be a big group, and they'll like they'll stick with each other, and they'll be kind of like similar to us. But then the difference with us, wherever you were in the city, it was so much like a backyard, because everyone from our area used to not really have those boundaries that a lot of other kids growing up did with the parental things. And if we did, we navigated it really, really well. So we'd be in the city and constantly be bumping into our friends.
Yeah.
So wherever we go, so in a normal night where there's 10 of us going out, there's actually 100 of us going out, or 150. It would be ridiculous. It was weird. I don't know if this happened with you. It happened with me non-stop, where we'd get into a fight, and this fight, it's out of hand, like we're going to lose this fight. But by chance, across the road, there's boys that we know, and they've run in and jumped the fight. Has that happened to you growing up growing up clubbing and stuff?
Yeah, I think there's been a few a hero save.
Yeah, there's those hero saves. I used to love it. The hero saves are
reinforcements.
Reinforcements. Just like, this is a dumb little story, but if Malik or one of the boys listening, there was this one time, I'm not sure if you were there, but if you were there, you were jumping off the bridge in Darling Harbour. Okay, the
Harbour Bridge.
The one near Pontoon.
The one near Pontoon.
Yeah,
I don't know if you
Piedmont
remember
Bridge,
this.
Piedmont Bridge.
The Piedmont Bridge. Okay,
Yeah,
so it was a normal night out, but just like normal night out, we had boys at Docks, we had boys at this, we had boys at Pontoon, we had boys everywhere that night, right? And me and Malik, I had a free drink pass for the Piedmont Bridge Hotel, and I go, because I only had one free extra drink pass, I had to pick one of the boys. So I picked Malik. I go, Malik, come get a drink with me. And so we went up, grabbed the Smirnoff Black. We backdoored it so we could hold it, and started walking to go, because I think it was Baghdadi's birthday, so there was a hotel. And so we're walking across Piedmont Bridge out of nowhere. We're halfway through. We're looking at some guys about to jump over off the bridge, but they've climbed all the way to the top to jump into the water. And we're going like, what crazy mofos? Like, who the heck does this? Like, they're all dressed, everything, Out of nowhere, me and Malik hear from behind us, yeah, motherfuckers, or something. Just hear some screaming, and we look around, we look back, and we see a group of guys, but literally, they were so far away from us, we had no idea. Like, we didn't think any of it. We just kept walking and looking forward. And then we hear some more, and then we turn around, and then yeah, you mother effers, It's like, I look at Malik, I go, we couldn't get into a fight, bro. Like, we didn't even know. We're just walking, and out of nowhere, these guys just start running towards us. Malik. No offense to you, Malik. Malik isn't the tallest one of our friends. Shouts out to Bob. But so it's just me and Malik. And this fight starts, bro. These guys start running over to us, and I go to Malik. We got to fight, bro. We got to fight. We can't run. We got to fight. They're gonna whatever. We start punching on, and we're getting pumped because there's like six of them, and out of nowhere, I just see them start dropping like flies. I start like coming to and looking around. All the boys that were jumping the fence, it was Paso, Fogarty, Bora. It was like it was just all the footy player style boys, our mates, and it was just like, oh, there were angels, bro, coming and just, bro.
And then you got up, you're like, yeah,
you better run, you
got this big drum behind you.
Yeah, hey, but that was a good night. Our growing up was a lot of that, just random fun and just odd things.
Ups and downs.
Ups and downs. They weren't always
ups and
good.
downs.
So when was the last time you've been out? Or like not out.
I don't really go out like I used to anymore at all, mate. If we go out, I'll just be to a bar, a few drinks, somewhere pretty chilled. Yeah, I don't do nightclubs or anything anymore.
No festivals, nothing like that.
No, I haven't been to a festival in a long time. I used to quite enjoy them, but I haven't been to one in a long time.
Now,
yeah, it's not the same anymore, mate. Just different wants in my life now, and different path.
Just want to ask about just generally about marriage, man. Like, I feel like there's a big divorce rate in the world in general, like divorce rate in general. But just as a man, like, how do you even choose and make that leap of getting married? Like, that's a big step, man, to commit with someone and have that trust. Like, how did you go through that, and what sort of like things do you look for to say, okay, I'm going to go ahead with it?
What did you learn? Like,
yeah,
pro, con, bad?
I suppose you got to ask yourself a couple of questions. You know, like, A, can you see yourself spending the rest of the life with this person? B, can you see this person being the mother of your children? And I think if you can answer yes to both those questions, then what reason have you got to not do the marriage? At the end of the day, nothing's guaranteed. Never. But if you can answer those two questions and you can answer them with a yes, truthfully to yourself, then you've really got no reason not to go for it. And in my situation, we still ended up growing apart. But was I true to myself at the time? I was. And I went for it. And you know what? That's another example of me saying, have a crack.
And would you do it again?
I'm actually with my current missus now. I've been with her for 2.5 years, nearly 3 years. And things are going really, really well. And I think I'm going to be doing it again soon, to be honest.
You got the right to remain silent. Everything you say can and will.
It's on video.
It's on video, bro.
You said it.
It's live. We can't edit that shit, Kaan. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry.
No need to edit. So great. Baby, if you're listening, I love you.
But that's really good to hear, like, to come from a separation. It's really hard to get into another one.
Yeah, I've taken my time with it. Don't get me wrong, you know. I haven't rushed back into anything. And my current missus, she's actually also been married before. So we've got that in common, which is really helpful, I think, for both of us, because we both sort of get each other. And now moving forward, we both just have the same wants. We don't want a big wedding. We're not doing anything like that. We're just going to do it quietly. No function.
Quality instead of quantity.
Yeah, we're just going to do a honeymoon together and leave it at that. That's it, you know. And she just bought an apartment, so I'm very proud of her. She got her first property and... You know, I've just started, a business that's consuming a lot of my time and has cost me a fair bit to start up as well. And, you know, I'm not going to ever spend $50,000-$60,000 again on a bloody wedding.
I really think it's because, I think coming from like our background cultures, my background's Lebanese, if you didn't know, but back in the day when you
look some sort of Asian, Middle East Asian,
a West Asian,
Middle East,
or West Asian,
with green eyes,
with green eyes.
But now you got me off what I was gonna say.
Yes, of course.
Oh, what was I gonna say now?
You got it. You were talking about. Did you say you go? I'm Lebanese.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Because back in the day when we were in the towns, villages, whatever, like the weddings were $50,000 worth, but we'd never pay $50,000. Everyone chipped in. And I feel like we're trying to.
Vested,
and now I feel like because everyone bought a dish, everyone added their little piece of the thing.
I remember, even now, I presume they set up the hall for you. Everything.
And I feel like we're trying to recreate that when we come here and have like, if you don't have 50,000, then 50,000 people or whatever at your wedding, then your wedding's not really worthy, you know. So I think we've gone overboard with weddings now, and we should go back to the simplicity of it.
I couldn't agree more with you. I think it's become too social medialized.
Up angled camera shots from this angle with all the bride and that. But I remember like seeing my mum's wedding on the video, and the whole, like, because where all of them used to live in the same area down in Redfern, and man, like everyone chipped in. It wasn't an overpriced wedding, you know. It was like everyone's little hand in it. So I feel like that's a major thing now. Everyone thinks that's part of getting married, to have a big wedding.
Yeah. Nah, look, I think it's whatever you're comfortable with and whatever you guys want. You know, like for me and my girlfriend now, it's not. We don't want a big wedding. It's not for us. And I think if you're younger and that's what you want to do, just be sure about it. You know, because if you're going to be spending a house deposit on a wedding, exactly. It's not a small thing. You know, it's quite serious.
Is that like obviously with your partner, how she's been through a relationship before, so she's got a lot to lean on from knowledge. Is it helpful that they're not wanting to keep up with the Joneses, not only in the sense of a wedding size, but more everything else? Like, you know, I feel like there's a sense where friends are doing this, we got to do this, or friends are doing that. Do you find that as a situation, or something you have to encounter in a relationship?
Oh, look, we don't feel that way at all. Like, my girlfriend and I, neither of us are followers, but I think there's definitely a lot of that goes on in society itself. Don't you reckon? I reckon.
Oh, 100%.
No, for sure.
Yeah, but I feel like, man, it seems like like from the little that we've talked about in how shit hits the fan. Like, would you consider that even from the possibility of, you know, like a marriage in the future again? Are things starting to come full circle for you? Or do they feel like that?
Yeah. Like, life's never been better.
Yeah.
Oh, life's never been better, but, you know, life's what you make it as well. So
when you look back, I'm guaranteed the road didn't look like it was heading here, did it?
No, not at all. Not at all. But at the same time, I just had that little bit of quiet confidence in me that I can make whatever I want happen, and, you know, and that's kind of what I've done, and I'm pretty happy with where I am in my life, and I'm only here because of the choices I made. But at the same time, you know, I was where I was because of the choices I made.
Yeah.
So,
interesting.
You know, if anyone's listening, you are where you are because of the choices you made. You know, if you're not happy with where you are right now,
start choosing differently.
Look at what you've done in the last 5 years. Just don't do the same thing, because if you do the same thing as the last 5 years, where are you going to be in 5 years from now?
Yeah,
same place as you are.
And I feel like it's something that we learn in society that we're always hearing about. And someone's phone's gone off. It's probably mine. But we're destined to repeat our like history. You know, we're destined where we stuffed up. We stuff up again. So you're a firm believer. You can throw a wedge in those works. You can change something up.
100%. I did.
But how? Like, was it easy?
No, it wasn't. Like you have to consciously, I reckon, make an effort. When I say consciously, I mean, you know, you need to sort of go, who do I want to be?
Yeah.
You know, like, where do I want to be in my life? You need to actually ask yourself these questions. I stopped and did it.
Yeah.
I went, what kind of person do I want to be? Do I want to be a guy who doesn't look after his health too well, just works Monday to Friday and, you know, does what he wants on the weekends and isn't generally happy, but, you know, as long as he's paying his bills? Do I want to be that kind of guy? Or do I want to actually make an impact with my life and do something I'm happy with, you know? And I'd rather be the guy who's healthy. I'd rather be the guy who's proud of his work and loves what he does, and also runs his own business. You know, that's something that I enjoy. I enjoy working for myself. You need to ask yourself, you know, who do you want to be? Where do you want to be? And if who you want to be, it doesn't fit in with partying, then you got to stop partying. Do you know what I mean?
Like, but as much as that's a simple one, that's a huge one, eh?
Yeah, it's a huge one, because a lot of people, partying's their release. You know, they go to work all week and they do this job that they don't like.
So by
the time Friday comes, they need that party, right?
Yeah, they need.
But that's a real vicious circle to be in, because how do you break out of that? How? The only way you break out of that is by changing your occupation and doing something that you're going to enjoy. But for a lot of people, doing that can also mean a big pay cut. But they've still got to pay rent. They've still got to pay bills. So it's a hard situation to be in.
So I hear, and we've heard it with different language, I think, in the sense of like people are more comfortable with where they're like shit going wrong sometimes than the uncomfortability of trying to work it out, because we're trying to work it out. They don't know what that looks like. But shit hitting the fan, at least, I know what shit hitting the fan looks like. So they rather stay in that situation. You know, I feel like it is fear-based, is what you're saying, that people don't...
100%. Fear's a big thing.
Okay.
You know, I think fear keeps people doing things that they don't really want to do. But, you know, when we say fear, it's like, well, it's still, you know, but I'm earning money. That's what pays the bills.
Yeah.
You know, I think a lot of people have dreams, you know, like there's probably guys out there or girls out there doing their office job right now, 9 to 5, that they don't really like.
Yeah.
They'd probably have their own business.
That's right.
And do something. But to do that, they got to take a leap of faith.
Yeah.
It might not work out. True. But how are you going to know if you don't try? Because if it does work out, you're going to be the happiest version of yourself you can ever be.
Yeah. No, I hear. I once said to someone like this, like they were worried about something that like a book or an idea, a movie. They didn't want to give it a time of day because they were scared. Man, I don't want to hear what it's got to say. How about if it freaks me out and it changes the way I think? And it's kind of like, wait a sec. Are your thoughts so not set in stone that if someone was to go, hey, why is that? Just because they ask why now you throw everything up in the air and like you're not certain about anything. I feel like if you're scared someone's going to change your mind, maybe you should try to like understand what you believe in first. Otherwise, you're going to get to the point where anyone can change your mind. You don't really know what you believe or why you're doing what you're doing in the sense. And it's not necessarily needing all the answers, but like your why. I feel like so. Sometimes if you don't know how the business is going to work out, but why you're trying, maintains you there, you know what I mean? And keeps you...
Yeah, and I think the other thing is too, I think people like care way too much what other people think.
Yeah.
That's a good one, yeah.
You know, and I think there's a lot of that, you know?
Yeah.
Like, oh, but if I go and start this, what's this guy going to think? Or what's that
even
guy
parents,
gonna think?
bro.
Or
Even
parents.
yeah,
what's my parents going to think, you know? Like, there's a lot of that. And I think that holds people back.
Yeah, you're right. Because not from a bad place with the parents, more like I don't want to... disappoint them.
100%. I can tell you right now, my mum and dad, they're from Turkey, and where they grew up, if you didn't have, you know, and this is how it is there from the way they were raised. If you don't have a university degree, you end up being no one. You know, and they've come here with that thought. I don't have a university degree.
Yeah.
You know, but they don't realise that in this country, having a trade, having a business, being self-employed, and having motivation and drive, and being good at what you do, you can actually do really, really well. And in most cases, you're probably going to do better than the person with a university degree who's just an employee of a company now.
And who's just inherited a bunch of debt.
Yeah, well, he's got a HEX debt and, you know, he's 26 and he's not going to earn good money till he's 30. So, you know, and then in between all of that, if he loses his track as well, he's right gone.
Kaan, going back to what you were saying in regards to making that conscious choice, as you're saying, like you hit rock bottom, you find yourself where like shit hits the fan, but it's not like by making that conscious choice, it didn't mean things got easier, right?
No, it was really hard. And you know, anybody, when you hear success stories about people, you never ever hear anyone say it's easy. You don't hear like a professional basketballer say, how did you make it to the NBA and become a multi-millionaire? Yeah. Oh, it was easy. I just ate my Weet-Bix and turned up to training once or twice a week. You know, it's not like that.
Yeah, that's right,
you know, anyone who's successful will tell you it's hard work and commitment and focus. Yeah. You know, and that's literally the only way you'll get anywhere in your life. You know, you have to be that way. You have to push people away who are negative. You can't have anything negative in your life. You can't expect a positive outcome when there's negativity in your life.
Was that easy to muster up, man? Like I feel like just for a few people out there, they might be listening. Like I'm surrounded with. I just lost my job. Rent's due in a week. And I need a change, but like I like you know like they just feel like they're stuck between a rock and a hard place. Do you feel like sometimes that place might actually be good because that's what makes you change?
100%.
Okay, so just because I feel like there might be people out there just going, man, Kaan's situation's different than mine. He didn't hit rock bottom like I hit. Like, what would you say?
Yeah, look, I'm not getting into my rock bottom too hard, but mine was pretty full on.
Yeah.
And it defined me. You know, it clarifies things in your life.
Yeah.
It really does. It puts you in a position where it's like, well, hang on, like this is really bad. I got absolutely nothing going for me right now. You know, what do I want to do with my life? Where do I want to go? You know, and when you get put against a corner like that, it's the whole fight or flight. You know, you either buckle down and cower, or you stand up and have a go.
Yeah.
So
even as you say that, I feel like that little thing in my gut, that little butterfly in my stomach of like, bro, that's scary as shit. You know what I mean? Like literally, I feel like hats off to you, man, because I guarantee that there's a lot of people in a moment like that right now that are not going to give up just because you keep going, you keep going, and that's what gets you there, you know? There's no point stopping.
I'm a firm believer of life's what we make it, you know? Literally, like nobody gave me a crane hire company.
Yeah.
You know, nobody gave me anything. I've had to work my ass off.
To get there.
I'm saying like 6-7 days a week, savings hard, and not losing focus of where I want to be in, you know, 2-3 years ahead of time. And that's the only way you can do it, you know? You got to make it happen. Nobody's going to give you a business that you like. You know, you boys are running a radio show right now. It's in its early stages still. It's in its infancy, but You know, the way you guys are going, it's going good, and
Thanks, man.
you might be somewhere pretty big soon, man. You guys are really cool. You're good at what you're doing.
Man. I appreciate it.
You're
the first
but
one.
But you guys are making this happen. Yeah, you two
That's
are
right,
making this happen.
Taking a step,
Nobody's gone, hey boys, hang on, here's Good Smoke, here's a radio station, go rock it.
Yeah.
Yous are making this happen. Yeah.
That's
So
true.
that's how life's about. You make it happen. You can't expect anything to happen for you.
What? Why I like this because I remember growing up, especially in Eastlake, there was so many. I'm talking about so many good soccer players, and they just never had an opportunity to go somewhere and make it into a league. I feel like there's a guy in his room now in Eastlake. He's a great soccer player. You know, he knows how to do. Like he rips.
Probably
it.
like 6 of them.
You remember Bags, right?
Yeah,
Bags was like one of the maddest soccer players I know. Like he was floating when he would play. He loved it that much. But it was only till his older stages he started going to like overseas and started pursuing it. I feel like, what would you say to that kid in his room right now? He's got a bunch of mates. He's the main dude of the group, you know, the main guy everyone looks at. But he feels like if he makes an extra step, no one's gonna like him no more. What would you say to that guy?
I would say to that kid, don't worry about anyone thinks, because those boys that are at the moment impacting your decision, they're not even going to be a part of your life in 10 years, mate.
That's so
They're
true.
not even going to be there. So if you make a decision now based on what they think of you, you're going to regret it.
That's good, man.
Those are wise words,
Yeah, no,
straight
that's
out.
good.
If you take one thing from our show, any listeners, take that. Like that.
Yeah, and also like use what you got around you guys. Like especially at Eastlake, there's massive park there. You can practice soccer 24/7, and eventually no one will talk to you. But you become a star. You become something big, so you can help your family. Because that area, like no one would want to live in the area where everyone's like stressed out, depression, on meds. You know, it's a bit dangerous sometimes. You want a safe area, so make the area safe by making it somewhere good, and you can come back and give back to the area, which I find is the best way to do it. You know.
Yeah. The other thing is too, I think a lot of people like to blame external influences for where they are in their life, and I think blame is the biggest weakness.
Yeah, for sure.
100% biggest weakness. In your life, you can't. If you're right now not happy with where you are in your life, you can't sit there and go, yeah, but I'm here because of where I grew up. You can't do that or I'm here because somebody made me upset and I did something stupid because of them. The second you start blaming others for where you are, you'll never ever improve your own life. You'll never ever move forward. You'll never become stronger. You'll never become more of a man or a woman. You'll just be weak. The biggest thing anyone can do is take ownership. Take ownership of where you are. You are where you are because of the choices you made. You can't blame where you grew up. 2 boys that I went to high school with, they're twins. They grew up in Waterloo.
Yeah.
They're half Aboriginal, half Lebanese.
Yeah.
All right. They grew up in the roughest hood, man.
Yeah.
Roughest hood, drugs everywhere. Everyone around them was failing. But they stayed true because they love their football.
Yeah,
they love their football and they were fucking good at it.
Yeah.
And they ended up playing first grade.
Yeah.
They're first grade rugby players.
Yeah. I love those guys.
And and like they could have, the area they grew up in, they could have easily become junkies.
And said, I got the opportunity.
Or even if they didn't become junkies, they could have failed at what they were trying to pursue and blamed it on something. You know what I mean? But they didn't. They didn't. Their choices they made led them to playing first grade, and they had to persevere through the shit area that they were in. I don't mean to put the area down too much, but
it is.
It's very different now. It's very different now.
They were surrounded by drugs.
Yeah, that's right.
Surrounded by break and enters and whatnot, and look at them. They did so well. And that's just because of the choices they made. So my whole point about that is take ownership of your life. Don't blame anything for where you are. You are where you are because of the choices you made.
On that note, it's Radio Skid Row 88.9. You've been listening to Good Smoke. We've got about half an hour left. I'm going to play a few songs and we're going to get into Kaan's business and what it's all about, what he does, and maybe you can use his services somehow. This is Radio Skid Row. This one here is a bit of a remix. I don't know. It's back in the day, Warren G and Nate Dogg. You remember that song?
Who's Warren G?
But this one it's from the original with Michael McDonald. So they did a remix of this. So hopefully you guys will.
Oh,
like
you're getting that one on bro. That's a rare. You can't even find that.
I know. So I saved it somehow. But hopefully it's called. I don't know if you guys know, it's Regulators by Warren G and Nate Dogg. Probably everyone's cheering out there now.
Yeah, but this is a special mix.
Yeah,
Whoever's in the know is in the know there.
Roll down your windows. Tell everyone to tune into 88.9 Radio Skid Row. You're listening to Good Smoke, and remember that number 9550-9552. It's Radio Skid Row 88.9, and you're listening to Good Smoke. If you like that last song, which I did, I like the sound of it.
Did you?
Snoop Dogg and Swiss Beats. It's a new song.
Oh, that new track you were showing me. Yeah, nice.
You don't like it?
No, I do. Hey. No, but it's like I feel like you said, a lot of old heads I think would appreciate that.
Yeah, that sound, that
older
California sound. Yeah. If you just tuned in, as I said, it's the Good Smoke, and we've been talking to Kaan Paydas. How you going, man?
Yeah, man. Our special guest. He's the founder and CEO of Highline Cranes.
That's right, and we've come to pretty much the end of the conversation. We're finishing at 8, so we've got about 15 minutes. We just want to get into what you do on an everyday basis, your job, and what's your services, and why to get into. Out of all things that we could got into, you got into cranes, which very interesting job.
Well, I'm actually an arborist by trade. So the last 7-8 years, I've been working in trees as a climber.
Nice.
Mostly the last couple of years before I bought the crane, I was working as a contract climber, which meant I was working under my own ABN.
Mm-hmm.
And I was also doing my own work as well. So basically other tree companies would hire me to come in and do the climbing part, and they'd supply the rest. Why do they do this? I guess because usually contract climbers are good, reliable workers most of the time, and also we've got our own insurances. That's probably the biggest reason why.
Uh-huh. So when you say climbers, do you mean literally climb a tree?
Yes. Yeah, climbing trees, cutting them down, pruning them, trimming them up.
But more to that, so
you're wearing harnesses and ropes, it's a qualification through TAFE that you do and everything.
So more than a tree climber, it's something like you have to know a lot. You have to really be on your game to be.
It's one of the most dangerous jobs there is.
I was gonna say, man.
Yeah, you got to learn a lot about rigging and stuff like that.
But even physics, like with where things swing and
learning forces and physics and. It's all guessing, It's most of the time a lot of the time you put a rope on a branch and you think, yeah, right, I should swing that way. And,
it's the opposite.
It's an educated guesstimate, eh?
Yeah, it's an educated guess most of the time, but obviously as time goes by, those educated guesses become more accurate.
Yeah, for sure. That's
so getting back to how I ended up in cranes, while I was doing that, I probably had the path of starting a proper tree business, or the other one I really grew fond of was just buying a crane and starting a crane business and servicing the tree industry with it. And that's what I went down. So that's the choice I made. So now I service the tree industry with my crane. And I also service the construction industry with it as well. But I'd say 80% of my business would be tree work, because obviously that's my background and that's where I'm from. And it's a pretty specialised little pocket of work. Like most crane companies in Sydney won't do tree work. They won't touch it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they won't touch it. It's the most dangerous form of crane work.
Yeah.
Usually when cranes are on a construction site, they know what they're lifting in terms of weight and where they're going to put it and whatnot.
Okay.
And you're only just lifting off the ground on a construction site, which is safe. In a tree, you're lifting unknown weights from a height.
And unknown balances and stuff like that.
So... There's a lot more to it.
Yeah.
And it's very dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. If I wasn't a tree guy, firstly and mostly, I wouldn't want to do a tree job in a crane, knowing what I know now.
Okay.
And especially, I feel like there's more liabilities, like more things that can.
Oh yeah.
Get out,
100%. Now you're driving a machine that's got mine's got a 24-meter boom on it that weighs tons, and if I make a mistake and it tips over. A lot of properties are probably going to get damaged, and people can get killed.
How long did it take for you to lose that? That kind of anxiety when you're driving a huge vehicle like that, where you kind of start getting a sweaty back. When did you start losing your sweaty back? Or do you still get a sweaty back?
Well, I've got a lot of experience working with cranes, but I had to get used to this one after I bought it, obviously. So. It took me a couple of weeks, probably, to get really comfortable with it.
Yeah.
But now I am definitely very comfortable with it.
Yeah.
I just, when I'm driving it on the road, I'm just got my headphones on and I just listen to my music and cruise.
Yeah.
Mind you, I do 52 to 55k an hour, so it's quite exhilarating in speed.
Yeah. And do you have a little, are you at the front of that? Does it? I know, I feel like cranes are hella cool to drive.
I've just gotten used to seeing people drive past me with the shits. Yeah, just overtaking you with a foot flat on the pedal. So, sorry, bro. What can I do?
so there's a few different cranes. You drive the one that's like planted on the ground and with the arm?
Nah, so mine's it's a mobile crane.
Okay.
It's a city crane as well. It's a 13 ton, and it's quite a compact machine, but it's got a very long reach on it, and it's got a pretty good lifting capacity as well.
Nice.
There's a lot of positive things to it. I think it's a very versatile crane to have in Sydney. Because in Sydney, a lot of the jobs are tight access.
So that's
and that's why I chose this machine. It's the biggest tight access machine you can buy.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it's the biggest tight access machine you can buy, and like I said, it's got the long reach, it's got good lifting capacity, it's got four-wheel drive and four-wheel steer as well, so you can, traverse on steep and slippery surfaces and get into some funny cracks and stuff.
Did you buy the crane here?
I did, yeah. I bought it off another company that's based here in Sydney. Right. Yeah, luckily. I was looking at stuff in Tokyo and that because that's where they mostly come from.
China and stuff like that,
Yeah, most of the ones are Japanese. And I was lucky enough to find a pretty good model.
Yeah.
That I was after here.
I think, I don't know if you can say this, but I think yours is a sexy crane. And just because exactly, bro, I look at it and I'm thinking because I follow his Facebook page, and so when he's at sites, I'm going like, it's such a small little spot he needs to get into, and then the boom is so big that like it's exactly what he's saying. It's a tight access little thing, but wow, can it stretch?
If you guys don't understand what we're talking about, you can go to his website. What's the website?
It's www.highlinecranes.com.au. That's Highline, HILINE.
Yeah, and he's got a little video there with him in action. Actually, he's in there.
There's a few videos. He's an actor. He's an actor. Kaan's an actor.
There's two marketing videos. So you can check them both out. They're both on the homepage.
Yeah, make sure you guys go to his Facebook page and like, share, and none of that stuff that I don't like because like the stuff. I don't care if you don't need a crane this year. Eventually, someone's going to be following your page, and because you've liked that page, they're going to find a crane service, and they're going to be thanking you. And on that note, Kaan, like with Highline Cranes, you starting that business, it wasn't just the business part. Like you didn't just have to, put the numbers together. You had to get creative, like in coming up with a name, coming up with an approach, a strategy, or anything like that? Or how'd you go about all that?
Well, I already had a tree company set up, so that was Highline Trees.
Okay, yep.
So I got really creative.
I just
changed it to Highline Cranes.
But even with the hook, even with the logo, like did you take the logo to someone and ask them to work on the logo for you?
So I actually got my logo developed online. There's a few different companies that you can go to, but yeah, if you're starting a business yourself and you want to get a logo designed, you don't have to spend a fortune. You can go online and have a look. I can't actually remember what the website was called. I'd have to get back to that one, but it only cost me about, I think, $180.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, what happens is you go to this website, you fill in what you want to, what your company name is and what you want written on the logo and what you want. Like they ask you, do you want it to be slender or bold or strong or soft?
Details
like that of what you want on your logo, and obviously I wanted mine to be strong and bold sort of thing. And then that goes out to 100 different bloody freelance logo designers.
This sounds epic.
Yeah, so that goes out to all these freelance designers. And the freelance designers come back with a few different variations of what you want, and you just pick which one you want.
Wow, that gives you at the end of the day, like you get to pick the brain out of a bunch of creatives.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I've never heard of that. And when you do find out, that will be cool to let us know. And I'm pretty sure if you hit up Kaan on his Highline Cranes Facebook page, by that time he'll suss it out and be able to inform you. But if you're at competition, do not get in touch with him.
Yeah, but I was gonna say it's a lot easier these days to like get a business running with all this social media stuff as well.
Yeah, it definitely helps. I got a fair bit of work through social media myself. Definitely helps.
Yeah. I feel like if you're man, I wish I was like when I was in year 7 or something, and we had this sort of stuff. I would have probably made a bit of money off Facebook or something like that.
Yeah.
But now, like I remember selling CDs, burnt CDs at school, and little phones that used to have.
Hustle.
It's a whole new platform.
Yeah, it's a new platform. So if you're at home and you're in your room and you want to start a business, it's easier than ever. You can start a website, pretty much free almost. Like or pay a few dollars and you can get a website up as simple and just grow from there. Like, and I think Kaan's a living proof of this sort of stuff. Like taking initiative and going in for yourself and doing things for yourself and earning the money. You don't have to pay your like heaps of employees or you're getting a cut from a big business. You know, this is all for you. And there's a bit of responsibility behind it. It's not all the glam and
there's a lot of hard work behind it. You know, I think any business owner will understand that. There's a lot of risk behind it as well. But you know, the reward's awesome.
And like I know we've talked about how it's you can't rely on these sorts of stuff, but how important has it been to have supporting people in your life, like from the business to recovering from where you were at in certain parts in life, from the misses, like, so how
it's
how
really
important?
it's really important. Like, you know, it helps a lot when, you know, you tell people that are close to you what your visions are and what your goals are, and they support you. You know, it's definitely a boost, so to speak, a mental boost, because if you said, hey, listen, you know, I've got this idea and this is what I want to do and this is where I want to go, blah blah blah, and then your mum and your best mate goes, "No, that's shit."
Yeah, just shut you down.
Yeah, and then you're just like,
yeah,
you know, it can flatten you out a bit. So definitely, you know, I think people supporting your vision is pretty good. Yeah. My mum didn't understand it, to be honest.
Yeah.
No, she didn't understand it. Like I said, she's old school and she's got the whole, you need a university degree to go anywhere in life. But she had faith in me. Yeah. She was just like, look, you seem like you're pretty keen and you're confident that it's going to work. And I'm just like, yeah, I am, Mum. And this is the path I'm going to go down. And that's it, you know. I backed myself. I backed myself and I went down that path and it's working out.
Good on you, man. I think one more question I'll just ask. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Or where do you want to see yourself in 5 years? And last words for like any kids out there or any youth that are listening down at Eastlake or...
Okay, cool. Where do I see myself in 5 years? In 5 years, I hope I've got 2 kids.
God willing,
I hope I've got about 2 kids in 5 years.
I love this because, again, Seda is listening. We know.
You're getting married.
Yeah.
And having kids.
Babe, wink, wink. 2 kids, 5 years. 2 kids, 5 years.
That's good. Nice. Good planning, man. Good planning.
She's got something to work with now, you know what I mean?
And he's got the crane, you know, he can help him out. You know?
Yeah, that's it.
Nice.
And, no, in all seriousness, in 5 years, mate, like, I just hope that my life's going as good as it is now and just moving on. I just hope I've got a little family going. I hope my business is still continuing and going strong. Personally, I don't want to live in Sydney too much longer. I wouldn't mind being out of Sydney in 5 years' time, but we'll see where that goes.
Yeah.
To little kids that are listening, or not even just little kids,
just anyone,
bloody
really.
just anyone.
Yeah.
Just anyone. Don't.
Young or old?
Yeah, young or old. The only thing I could probably say in terms of advice is don't worry about what people think. Don't worry about it. Just have a crack. If you've got an idea, back yourself and have a go.
Man, this has been an honour. I really thank you for coming in today.
Pleasure, Kaan. Straight out.
I love the stories. Anyone out there listening, check out our Facebook. Check out highline.com.au, is it?
Highlinecranes.com.au.
Also, radioskidrow.org. It's been an honour talking to you. I really appreciate it. Like, you know, you've encouraged me, especially to move on with this sort of stuff. You know, you get, like you said, you get flat. You start to like blur, your vision starts to blur about where you want to be. But yeah, this is uplifting, man.
Look, likewise, boys. You know, I'm honoured to be here, and you know, I'm very grateful for the opportunity, and I wish you both all the best.
And just letting the audience know, as much as we had a great show on the air, like, I don't care that you guys are going to be upset with this, but off the air we had awesome conversation. It was even better. So fuck you guys, I'm going home. No, I'm joking. No.
Thank you for listening. It's Radio Skid Row. You've been listening to Good Smoke. Check us out next week, 6 o'clock till 8. We have a new guest to talk to. If you like the show, remember, check out our Facebook, like the page, share the links, and we can start growing.
Instagram, Twitter,
what are we up to with people following us?
Oh, hey, we just, I don't know, like, hey, whoever out there just following and not liking pages, really, just like that button, bro, or whatever it is. Press that like button. But we're on, I think we're 200 followers and 198 likes. So thank you, folks. We've only been around for a while.
It needs to be at least 10 times that, man.
Yeah,
you guys are too good at what you do.
Thank you so much, man. And, hopefully we can get you in again, man. And we'll have another chat later.
Yeah, we'll just hang out and have a bit of a banter.
Yeah, that's right. Thanks for listening. Radio Skid Row 88.9, and you've been listening to Good Smoke.